Hang tight, everybody. I'm setting up the stream. We're a little bit late today. We had a ton of things going on today, and I got some bad news to give you guys. Small bad news, not in the grand scheme of things. It's just stupid what just happened, and I'm really upset about this. All the things that can go. Murphy's Law, man. Murphy's Law. All right. It looks like we're up. Work to do, and it doesn't look like I'll be able to play some video games tonight, guys. I guess the only thing we got going tonight is me actually just talking to you guys, and what you see on the screen, because the backlight in my TV is gone. Crazy. Like, if I wanted to, I could play Tetris by looking at my laptop, because it's running through OBS. But the television itself, done. The screen, the backlight in the screen's gone. Oh man. And I'm tired. Man, I literally saved. How is a thumbnail not up? How is the thumbnail not up? People liked it already. Thank you, guys. Keyshawn, Calibus, what up? It's been 82 years. Just tired, Robin. Tired, Robin. Ugh. Looks like I'm going to be put to work tonight. Convicted and gets oh man. heard R. Kelly got hit with 30 years. Uh, he's still a millionaire. His family's taken care of, so, and he has, in my opinion, not done anything for black people except piss on them. That was low. That was low. Hey, Magical Day, what's going on, man? So my damn TV went out, so it couldn't just hold on until August, right? There was a guy that was gonna fly down with a new monitor for me. Damn TV couldn't fucking hold on until August. Fuck, man. So annoying. Yoshi Boy Raid. What's going on, Yoshi Boy? Thank you guys for the raid. Thank you guys for joining the channel. Please leave a like. I appreciate it, Yoshi. Anyone's here, I hope you'll appreciate and enjoy the content on the channel. I'll definitely be interacting with you guys because the backlight to my video game on TV is out, so I can't see anything. It's just black. I can hear the game, can't see anything. Here on my computer, you can see the game, but I will not be able to play at high level through the game because there's a half a second lag. Yeah, I'm good. How are you? I'm in there. If you're new to this channel pertains to all things within Empire Arcadia, from the men's division to the females division. For the next 30 something days, I'm going to be here supporting the lovely ladies that you see up here in the upper right hand corner, as they will be hosting their first anime booth at Jamaica's annual Anime Confest. These girls are all from Jamaica. A small time, nothing major, but they're gonna do their best to represent, and I'm using my clout from my channel and gaming to help them raise money so that they can pay off their booth space and host all the activities that they say they're gonna host. In fact, I just finished coming from the TV studio with one of them earlier today, Empress Now, and she focused on doing the lab video game TV episode. She's the host of Jamaica's only video game TV show, so you know, she's back in the lab doing a thing now. And let me hit you guys off with something. Let me go grab something really quick to drink. This channel into the Discord chat. Robin, I don't know if you know, but I'm in the general chat. Yoshi says. Let me send out a couple of tweets, guys, or messages in Discord. Jaden, Zamosa, Cornelius, Dramatic, CM, King Joker, Ruben, Perry, Treyan, Super, Moon, Jarion, Rex, that's about it for right now. We got 10 likes in there. We got 14 people up in there. Thank you guys once again. Thank you, Yoshi, for the raid. I appreciate it. If you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat. I answer everything. I read every comment. I'm not that big of a streamer anyway on YouTube, so I can't afford to read all of the comments. But let me give you a heads up. We had gone to the Lab Video Game TV studio today, and Empress Now did our first lab feature, which pretty much it's like it goes over what's coming up on the Lab Video Game TV, which is showing only on E+ TV. But enough of me doing the talking. I'll let you guys hear it out for yourself. So let me just head on over there so you guys can see it. They uploaded on YouTube so that you can actually see the what the feature looks like, but you can only watch the entire skit on E+ TV here in Jamaica. Here we go. Damn it. Wait, what? Oops, that's the game. There we go.
Bring up next on the Lab Video Game TV, only on E+ TV. We're gearing up for one blazing hot summer. And I'm not talking about the temperature. The Valkyries of Arcadia will be a part of this year's AnimeCon at the Chinese Benevolent Society. We'll be posting regular updates leading up to the event, so keep an eye on our social media networks.
And the Valkyries of Arcadia will be there to represent the pop culture.
The Sage reviews Vox Machina on the Meta Quest 2.
As I see the greatness or potential greatness here, but although a good entry, Vox Machina falls short in quite a few places.
The Sage also stopped by Game Station, where New York esports players went at it for top spot in Super Smash Bros. At their monthly esports event in Queens Village.
I'm here once again in Queens Village, New York, for Game Station's monthly esports lineup.
We also hear from the legendary West of Deadly Alliance, one of the world's finest contenders on the Smash Bros. Scene.
We sit down with Wes from the Smash Brothers community. He shares his history with the game and his thoughts.
Today, things get really interesting. I'm Empress Nal, and you've just entered the lab.
Yeah, so as you can see, so that was shot today at the lab. That'll be in the station soon, and it'll be on TV at some point for the month of July in Jamaica. Who's hitting us up? is this? So yeah, with the girls getting ready for anime conquest, what I do is I take some time and I come on and I stream and I pretty much interact with you guys. Today is going to look like a short stream for me because I need some rest, man. Today was just a butchering day. Kisan, oh, okay. What is oh no, I got that. So where did I put it? Oh, this is from William Benjamin. Oh no, okay, the lab video TV William Benjamin. What? This is stupid. I hate nonsense like this. What's going on with some of you guys? I'm probably older than everybody in here. Yeah, like I said, I'm older than most of you guys. So if you guys have any questions regarding life, what you want to ask, just another day, huh? HBR? Nope, it's not just another day for me. In fact, I wish I had more days. I wish I had like 30 extra days on top of the 30 days that I'm going into. I need time. Like, it's hard helping these ladies. Just looking for support online for anything that we do is difficult. Waiting on Monster Hunter to drop. I'm pretty sure that's going to be a good game. Heard a lot of people talk about it. One of our guys here in our Discord, what's his name? Rashawn plays a game big time. Probably should have streamed. I probably should have called it today. Honestly, probably should have done that. But we're gonna struggle and we're gonna ride this out. That doesn't make any sense, but I just shared it, so why is it not on the wall? Well, messaging. I was on with it. Oh boy. Look at this guy here. Fraudulent supporter. You would think dudes would help out the sisters, but there gotta be something in it for them. Then they complain. Wow. The hell is this? I need a group one, do the group one. Okay, yeah, this one works. You guys know how difficult it is to crowdfund? Not for you, but for someone else. And do you know how difficult it is to crowdfund significantly important versus insignificant? It's easier to crowdfund for something insignificant than it is for something significant. Believe it or not. If you appease to somebody's aesthetics of things that they like a video game, it's easier to get people to help you to raise money for something that like people would just like for the. Everything is entertainment, so everything is relative to entertainment. But they're more willing to want to support something that's for entertainment, purely for the sense of entertainment. Nothing significant beyond entertainment. Like, that's just it. It's like, yeah, sure, I'll help you with this. Just to give you an example, like, who's that lady that the internet helped crowdfund her to become the youngest billionaire ever, the fastest and the youngest billionaire? Like, what was the purpose of helping this woman reach $1 billion? Like, there was nothing significant behind it. It wasn't because she had something. If you guys help me become a billionaire, I'll take that money, I will invest it. A large portion of that money I would take to help feed people, help a country that's being hit by sanction embargo or some stuff like that. Build a community, invest in what's the word for this thing here? Real estate to get people off the street and whatever. Things of significance. Nope, it's just for social media purposes, it's social media value, just to help her to become the fastest and the first young billionaire. That's wild. And people went in and supported that. A mess. Oh man. Okay, Dragon's Den, I can't hear you. You can't hear me, but my audio is up. Rose says, what is it? So, you can't hear me. How? Come in the general chat and let me work out the audio. He wasn't talking. Oh, now I can. Okay, cool. You're good. You should come into the stream if you're not doing anything, Rashawn. I need help today. Tonight, anyway. I still have to do my now I will be streaming tonight. It's 8:56, so it's going on 9. So we'll be streaming around 10:30, going on like 12, and then we're gonna call it. And I really got to get some rest. I'm over here trying to hack at getting some things moving around. Oh man. to share this around. This is an issue because in order to play like Just Dance and stuff like that, we need the television. So I gotta find a way to get this TV operational in the next 2 or 3 days, at least by Sunday. Today's Wednesday, right? Thursday, Friday, so we have 3 days. I'm gonna have to just outright buy a brand new television. Who wants to sponsor me a brand new television display? Let me see something here. Okay.
Money now donated $14. A donation to the cause. Salute Fam Rock.
Good money now. Thank you for the $14 donation. But guys, it's not about you guys just coming in here sending me money, man. I appreciate it though, because we gotta go. We gotta try to hit this goal. But talk to me, man. What's going on in you guys' lives? Trust me, when you talk to me and then I talk to you, eventually end up taking over the conversation, and then you'll find out a lot about what's going on in my life, and then I go into a rant, then it gets extra, and then it gets funny and silly and entertaining. So help me out, and that will actually keep me awake. I'm running on very little sleep. I can't even play video games to keep my mind running because the damn TV screen is dead. And that's right. It's fan circ. No, not fan. It's Warfare Wednesdays. So that when Now streams tonight, she'll be playing via our phone. So she'll be playing like Call of Duty and Apex. Then tomorrow is Valkyrie Thursday. We pick up Valkyrie and we go to her channel and chill. But tomorrow's probably just gonna be Empress Now, just chilling or whatever the case may be. Then there's Fan Service Friday. And see, that's the problem. Fan Service Friday, I would like to have the damn TV screen working. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen. You know something? Let me whack the TV and see how that works. You never know, the good old whack sometimes helps the TV work. Because when I press a power and it goes black point and then it just disappears. It's gone. You can't see anything. So you can hear the game, but you can't see anything. It's the worst time for this nonsense to happen, man. How's the family doing? Oh, magical. The family's okay. We eat. Everyone has a bed to sleep in, a pot to piss in, a bathtub to shower in. Everybody's alive and healthy. All praise be to Yah. So we can't complain. Family's good. It really is. Some fighting game community player who was at CEO, a major fighting game tournament that just passed by, was just arrested on charges of pedophilia and sexual assault on a minor, 12 years old. I don't get it. They don't make TVs like they used to. No, they don't. See, what I don't like is that these TVs are refurbished garbage though, because my mother bought this TV. I bought a TV 2.5 years ago. That TV, the backlight went out. We sent it to a TV repairman. He stole the damn TV plus the 7,000 Jamaican dollars I gave him to repair the damn thing. Then we end up having to confiscate the kids' TV. We're using that because the kids then can go and use their mother's TV. And then now, this TV is only 1.5 years old, and the backlight goes out? What the fuck? Like, really? That's why computer screens are just better. And the sad thing is, a friend of mine is actually actually supposed to come to Jamaica on the 27th of July with a brand new screen. And that screen is what we was going to use to replace the screen and give it back to TVs. And the damn TV couldn't just hold out one more month. And the sad part is we don't even use the television that much. That's the ridiculous part. We only use it when we stream, and when we stream, we only stream for like 3 or 4 hours. Right after the stream, we turn off the damn television. So I don't understand how the freak this television dies. Come on, man. Black Point and Roshan is dog shit. My husband is sick and so is DJ. Been nursing my son all day. And today is my anniversary. Celebrated 7 years of marriage. That's what's going on my end. Damn. Well, happy anniversary. Even though your husband and your baby's sick, you're being a good wife on your anniversary by nursing them to health. You play your role as Yah intended it, for a woman to a man. Good woman. We have these thought chicks out here. They can't play their role. They can't even play the role of roll up their panties. So there's the silver lining. And yeah, magical day. Wow, what the F? It is what it is. These dudes out here is these guys out here are just crazy. they get better soon. They will. She's Robin. She's a woman. She knows how to use her womanly chakra magic. However you do it. Getting better. They just don't make televisions like they used to. They really don't. Oh man. Oh man, this shit is crazy. So now that I have this, close that, minimize this. I'll have to share this around. In fact, I got a task for you guys. I got a task for you guys. How many people are in here? To you guys. My wife and daughter were sick the last few weeks, but are better now. Well, that's good on you, L. Good to hear a good recovery. For everybody, the 11 people that's in this chat right now, here's the new Lab Video Game TV piece by Empress Now. She's back in the lab, getting some episodes ready for the month of July. All I ask you guys to do, click that link, drop a like, and if you like what you hear, it's only a minute and 31 seconds long, leave a comment. So if you can head over to that video, click it, drop a like, and leave a comment, I appreciate it. One more time, I dropped the link inside the chat. Click that link over there, give it a like. We want to help push Jamaica's only video game TV show, the Live Video Game TV on E+ TV. So help out, guys. These little things matter. These little things count. I have a question for you guys. This is and I want some answers. No, I want answers, but I want a reason to the answers. Don't just give me an answer. Give me a reason. My question to you guys is this: who are better content creators in gaming and anime? Guys or girls, and why? I'm gonna go use the bathroom. I'll be right back. I want you guys to answer that question for me when I get back. Let's have a conversation on that. So here's the conversation again. Who is better at content creation? And let me kind of put it in a bubble so that you guys are not all over the place. Who's better at content creation in video games and anime? Guys and girls, guys or girls within the spectrum of YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram. Let's just leave it at those four. Nothing more than that, okay? I'll even throw on Twitter for you guys. So Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, those five. Who's better, guys or girls? Give me a reason why. I'll be right back. I gotta go hit this bathroom up. She said these nuts. Sorry, I'm being goofy. I'll be right back. Hold on. mother and Empress Nala, just something's wrong with them. Nala's in the shower. Her mother goes in the bathroom, farts in the bathroom, and then closes the door to trap the fart in there while she's showering. This is actual child abuse. Someone called the child abuse department. That's right, Jamaica doesn't have one. No, that's actually not true. Jamaica actually does have one, funny enough. What is this? Wait, did I show him that? Yeah, so she saw that. So we saw that. What else was popping? You can come in. The screen is yeah, it's not. You can come before right now. can't really do anything with that with no TV. We can look what's going on in the latest in the world right now. Don't worry, guys. I'll put the what's the name of this screen back on in just in a little bit. Why are you taking that down? I just temporarily had it blocked so you can come in. Well, when you get ready to do your stream, it's going to be Call of Duty. So, yeah, it looks like for the next, until we can raise the money to get a brand new TV, because I'm not repairing this. I'm not going to have it stolen like the last time. Excuse me. Come on. Cut this shit. And nobody answered my question. That's crazy, guys. Y'all really didn't answer my question? I'm sharing around a bunch of vids. Oh man, that's funny. Looks like a lot of things that I want planned out for today is getting pushed over to tomorrow. After much thought, I'll see men are better content creators only because if a man makes lazy content, he still has up to plan something. If a woman makes lazy content, she can just show body. Okay, that is a fair and accurate statement. To be honest with you, anybody else? That statement, it can't argue the reality behind that statement. I'm back. Matter of fact, I'm better than ever. The king boxed me in. Them boys too clever. So CNN, worry about little old me. What was the question? Mocats. So the question is, within the scope of these 5 social media platforms, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and TikTok, within those 5 platforms, who are better content creators in gaming and anime, men or women, and why? I need to get myself out there. Yeah, you do. A lot of things are going on. What's up, Robert? Oh boy. question. So the question was, Robert, sorry for the delay. I was actually typing in another window. So here's a question, and sorry you guys can't really see me. We have some ladies back here in some inappropriate, I wouldn't say attire, but they're getting dressed. So yeah, can't have the window open. But the question is, within the scope of these 5 social media platforms, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, within those 5 platforms, right? Who are better content creators in the realm of gaming and anime, men or women, and why? Considering my subscription box on most platforms except for you, you know what, he are mostly men. Pause. I'd say men. But what's the reason, Mocats? There has to be a reason, a why. The why is what I want to know. Send me a private link. No, they first of all, it's my mom's and Niall. They just finished taking a shower. They're changing, so I don't want them randomly walking in the into the room and the stream's on. No, I ain't trying to hear that. Jack Reacher, if it was up to me, I'd just kill you. What type of line is that? Oh boy. Wow. Tonight's going to be a very stifling night, so to speak. Very stifling. The king boxed me in. Always too clever. So CNN worry about little old me. Who wrote the story? You don't know about me, what I've been through, where I came from. Shit got hard. I stayed, I ain't run. Oh boy. I think that's enough. Okay, Robert comes up with a thorough answer. I'm not sure you can compare them. The content always feels different. Facts. For men, it's always competition or education. The content I've seen from women is different. So you can't compare the two. It isn't the same content. I mean, I guess if you're comparing the review content, like going over a game or movie of a series, then I would skew towards women. Mostly because it's the same information, but I prefer to look at a woman. Okay. with that logic, though, the same can be done for um, video games and anime. It's just that women women don't dominate. Women don't even make up a fraction of the content for gaming and anime for it to be compared to, because women do reviews and so do guys. But I want to hear other people's answers. So, but that's a real good answer, and I like the fact, I like your reasoning behind it, because there's a part of your reasoning that that when I get to my answer, I'll explain why. But I'm more on your line of thinking for it. So Mocat says most of YouTube for gaming and anime, i.e. flooded with dudes, you're pretty much gonna look for girls, while for dudes it's just there. Like a popular YouTuber gamer I know is Miss Click. I heard some stuff about her, not trying to gossip, but I had to stop watching her. Nah, gossip, Keyshawn, we in here. What you talking about, man? Don't be dick teasing people. Gossip, B. Drop that gossip in there. We trying to be entertained right now. Oh man. She mad, rude, and disrespectful in person, but that's the light stuff. All right, so stop telling me the light stuff. Give me the hard stuff, the heavy stuff. She secretly, get off my lawn, get off my lawn, boy. What? Its camera's not on. I told you. I'll turn the camera on when you're finished doing what you're doing. Fix up your. She, yeah, Mocat. She be dropping those hard ERs. Oh, word. She be dropping those hard ERs. But she ain't alone. Put the story up. The new shirt. Huh? But you should try it. I wanted to see what it looks like. Whatever. Okay. Oh, I just wanted to see what it looks like. Is it even the same shirt or is it a total different shirt? Is it? Let me see something here. One of my big problems is that I've been around too long. A lot of these dudes and this lady and this ladies are so boring. Their skills is meh. Their chat is meh. You know. Yeah. I actually.
It's not gonna show much.
And I got the wrong shirt. That's that's a shirt you can just wear at the lab. I got the wrong shirt. It's not a V-neck, it's a U-neck. Let me see. Look at me. Yeah, that's for the lab. That sucks. Oh well. I can't find anything about it. I only know because not long after I found her content, people started coming out with stories of abuse by her. Well, yeah, ugh, it's true. It'd be mad boring. But it could be because we've been around too long. So this shit is ass. It's just ass. At the end of the day. And for everybody, anyone who's joining the room right now, just letting you guys know, I dropped a link in the chat. Our goal is $100 today. Drop a donation. I'm actually we are at $86 because we had a $14 donation not too long ago. You guys know the drill. We drilling in here. This sucks, man. I can't play no games. Abby, what's up? Her husband won't even comment. Ouch. If her husband ain't commenting, then it's true. But what does that say about the husband, though? That means she's married to a lover. The wife is racist, but the husband most probably isn't. So I'm saying that means she's married to a lover. Let me hear this.
Welcome to Recap King. In this video, we will explain a history of violence. This movie tells a story of a man who owns a diner and lives happily with his family in Indiana. However, everything changes when he accidentally defeats the armed robbers at his diner and is accused of being a hitman. What happened to him after the robbery? Let's find out in a history of violence. A history of violence begins by showing two men named Jones and Billy, who have just come out of a small shop on the outskirts of town. Since the drinking water supply had run out, Jones asked Billy to come back inside and get some water. After Billy re-entered the shop, he saw corpses strewn and blood splattered everywhere. Jones and Billy turned out to be a gang of robbers who often targeted small shops on the outskirts of town as their target. This is quite reasonable because these small shops are generally minimally guarded, making it easier.
So you saying she's a stormfront? What the hell is a stormfront? He's just one of those nice guys. He'll finish last, and she'll finish him like Jada in Mortal Kombat brutality. You guys are silly. Oh boy. I haven't seen The Boys. I'm missing out. Yeah, you actually are.
Carry out robberies there. When Billy was filling the water, suddenly, a little girl came out of hiding. The girl seemed to be hiding there while the massacre was taking place. Not wanting his actions to be caught, Billy took out his gun and did not hesitate to kill the innocent little girl. The scene then switches and shows a man named Tom Stahl, who is about to open his diner in a small town in Indiana. Tom has a son named Jack, who is a high school student. That day, Jack was seen participating in a baseball game and managed to bring his team to victory. However, while in the locker room, Jack was approached by a young man named Bobby, who looked annoyed that his team was defeated by Jack's team in that match. Bobby then challenges Jack to a fight, but because Jack doesn't want to get into trouble with anyone, he asks Bobby to stop bothering him and embarrasses himself by saying that he is indeed a coward who is afraid of Bobby. Because everyone seemed to be amused by Jack's outspoken attitude, Bobby finally chose to leave and leave him. Tom and his employees seemed to be cleaning up in the evening because the shop was closing soon. There were only 2 customers who were still finishing their food there. Shortly after, Jones and Billy were seen entering the diner and ordering food from Tom. Tom then politely told the 2 men that they were no longer serving any orders because the shop was closing soon. Hearing this, Jones looked irritated and immediately snapped at Tom. Not wanting any trouble at his diner, Tom relented and served him. Tom then told his waitress to go home first because it was late. However, when the woman headed for the door and was about to leave, Billy immediately stood up and blocked her, then treated her harshly. It didn't stop there. Jones then pulled out his gun and threatened Tom to hand over all the money. Tom did not then just stay silent. He can easily immobilize Jones and Billy with one quick move, although his leg is injured from a knife stab. Everyone who witnessed Tom's actions was suddenly shocked because they did not expect that Tom, who looks ordinary and always polite and friendly to others, could beat criminals like a professional killer. After that incident, all local and international media reported on Tom's heroic actions and considered Tom a real hero because he was able to defeat a gang of ruthless robbers alone. Tom's wife, Eddie, then picked up Tom at the hospital to take him home. People seemed to have gathered outside the hospital and greeted Tom as a hero. Even when he was home, several reporters were there to interview Tom, but he politely asked them to leave and said that the action was normal and anyone could do it. When Tom entered the house, Jack welcomed his father proudly because he had now become a hero. Meanwhile, Eddie looked out the window and saw a black car parked not far from their house. She thought they were the media crew who wanted to interview her husband and didn't care much about it. A few days later, Tom's Diner is back to operating, but this time, the diner was packed with visitors who wanted to meet the hero. So many visitors came. Eddie even came there to help Tom and his employees, who seemed overwhelmed by serving the visitors who kept coming. A group of men dressed in elegant suits came to Tom's tavern shortly after. Their leader, Carl Fogarty, later referred to Tom as a man named Joey Cusack. However, Tom denied it and said that his name was not Joey Cusack but Tom Stahl. Carl then took off his glasses and asked if Tom recognized him now. He still denied it and insisted that his name was Tom Stahl. Even Tom showed his identity card to him. But Carl didn't care about it and then left the place with a sly smile. After their departure, Eddie then called Sheriff Carney to report 3 suspicious men who had visited their diner. After receiving the report, Sheriff Carney immediately approached Carl's car and interrogated Carl and his henchmen, but Carl said that he just wanted to enjoy the coffee sold there. After that, Sheriff Carney met Tom and Eddie at their house and told them that Carl was a crime boss from Philadelphia notorious for being very ruthless in carrying out their criminal acts. Even so, Carl and his henchmen always escape prison because they have a lot of money. Sheriff Carney then asks Tom if he has a problem with Carl and his henchmen, but Tom then said that Carl thought he was Joey Cusack. Yet Tom didn't know anything about Joey Cusack. The next day, coinciding with Sunday, Tom decided to go to his diner to calm his mind because it was accidentally closed that day. While Tom was sipping his coffee thoughtfully, he saw Carl's car parked in front of his shop and watched it. Not long after, the car was gone from there. Tom, who thought that Carl would come to his house, then rushed out of the shop and called his wife as he ran to his house. Tom then asked his wife to take a shotgun on top of the cupboard in case Carl and his men attacked them. Long story short, Tom finally got home first. Eddie asked about what was really going on. Jack, having breakfast, looked very surprised because he had just found out that his father had a shotgun. A few days later, Eddie and her daughter, Sarah, visited a shopping center. However, when Eddie was busy shopping, Sarah suddenly disappeared. Eddie looks very panicked when looking for her daughter's whereabouts. Luckily, she was able to find her daughter before something bad happened to her. However, unexpectedly, Carl was there. He then told Eddie about her real husband named Joey Cusack, the most feared assassin in Philadelphia and nicknamed the Ghost. Carl tells her that Tom is the one who injured his eye. Eddie, who did not believe Carl's words, immediately took her daughter away. Meanwhile, at school, Jack is seen again being the target of bullying by Bobby and his friends. They insulted and despised Jack's family, even calling Jack's father a murderer. Because they had insulted his family, Jack didn't just sit back and fight. However, because of the fight, Jack got suspended from school and was scolded by his father. Tom then advises his son that violence is not the right solution to solve every problem. However, Jack then replied to his father's words by mentioning the actions taken by his father when facing a herd of robbers. Hearing this, Tom was furious and slapped his son's face. When Tom talked to his wife about Carl and 2 of his henchmen came to Tom's house saying that Tom had to go with them to Philadelphia because someone wanted to meet him. They turned out to have taken Jack hostage so that Tom would do what they wanted. Not wanting to endanger his son's safety, Tom immediately said he was willing to come with them to Philadelphia, provided they freed Jack. Carl agreed and then freed Jack. After making sure his family was home and safe, Tom took the words back and said he wasn't going back to Philadelphia. Hearing this, Carl then ordered his men to bring Tom forcibly, but Tom could easily disarm them and kill all of Carl's men. However, Carl managed to shoot Tom in the shoulder during the dispute until he lay helpless. When Carl is about to kill Tom, he asks Tom if he has any last words to say before killing him. Tom then says that he should have killed Carl while still in Philadelphia. Seeing his father in a state of urgency, Jack suddenly came and shot Carl, killing him. Tom was then rushed to the hospital for intensive care. Not long after, Eddie came to see him. She then confronts him about Tom's true identity. With a heavy heart, Tom finally admits that he is Joey Cusack, a hitman who often works for gangsters in Philadelphia. However, he decides to bury his dark past as an assassin, start a new normal life after meeting Eddie, the only woman he has fallen in love with. Hearing this confession, Eddie looks very angry and disappointed with Tom, who has been keeping it a secret from her. After returning home, Tom becomes further isolated from his family and the community. Even Jack looks so disappointed in his father, who turns out to be a murderer. After the incident, Sheriff Carney visits Tom's house to ask about the incident that killed Carl and his henchmen. He seems suspicious of Tom, especially after rumors that he was suspected of being an assassin have spread. Unexpectedly, Eddie decides to help Tom and convinces Sheriff Carney that her husband is completely innocent and not Joey Cusack, who is said to be a hitman. Eddie said her family had been in a lot of trouble since the diner robbery incident and pleaded with the sheriff not to add to their family's problems. Hearing this, Sheriff Carney became uncomfortable and left immediately. In the middle of the night, while everyone was asleep, Tom suddenly woke up after getting a call from a man named Richie, who was from Philadelphia. He asked Tom to hurry to meet him and threatened to come directly to Tom's house if he refused the request. Not wanting to endanger his family, Tom decided to go to Philadelphia alone. Upon arrival, Tom meets one of Richie's men at a bar, taking him to meet Richie at his residence. Richie, the most respected crime boss in Philadelphia, turns out to be Tom's older brother. Tom and Richie then engage in a conversation, where Richie expresses his disappointment because Tom suddenly disappeared during their fight against the gangsters in the city. Tom soon realized that his actions in the past had hindered Richie's success as a crime boss who would rule the entire area of Philadelphia. Tom intends to make amends by returning to being a hitman for his brother, but Richie turned out to want to eliminate Tom once and for all. He then ordered all his men to kill Tom. However, Tom was not a worthy opponent for them. It didn't take long for Tom to finish off all Richie's men alone. When Tom was about to kill Richie, he seemed to want to say something, but Tom did not care and immediately killed him. After that, Tom immediately drove back to his home in Indiana. He finally got home while his wife and their children were getting ready for dinner. Jack began offering Tom food after a tense and awkward moment, and Eddie invited her husband to sit there with them, signaling Tom's acceptance back into their lives. The moral that can be learned from this movie is never to give up on repenting and leaving the dark past behind, because everyone has the right to start a new, better life to reach a bright future in front of their eyes.
Yo, what's going on, Noah? Noah, my TV blew out. Hell yeah, Keyshawn, it's so effing good. I'll have to look into it. Triforce, look at some of Triforce, look at some Darman videos. What?
Oh God, no.
What are they about? Or what are they like?
Quote unquote, they're staged real world scenarios.
I don't give a shit about those. It's not that I wouldn't like them, I just don't care about it.
Pretty much moral videos. But it's never. Remember now?
You good now? I can turn on back the camera? Huh?
But that's the more on TikTok on Facebook.
Huh?
I was just going to put it on the one, my last TikTok reload application for everything.
Alright. Let's see, son of a bitch, my TV. Where are we? Oh, Neko streaming. What the frig? that guy. That's all that what happened. Okay, whatever. Um, I want to see this. Let me listen to this one.
A man is living an ordinary life until the intruders break into his house, and then he runs into Russian thugs. Let's see what happens next. Welcome to Movie Recall. In today's video, we'll be going through the 2021 action thriller film Nobody. It's time to recall. Let's get started. Turn on subtitles and spoilers ahead. The movie starts with a handcuffed man who seems to be badly beaten reaches for his pocket for a cigarette. He removes a tin of tuna from his jacket and opens it as he smokes. He then places a kitten that came out of his jacket on the table.
Oh yeah, no, I know people can see my arm there. I put it on there for us. I was putting it. I don't care. You're not gonna fix it. Hey, Trifles, next time don't leave your TV at the shop unless you take. No. I didn't leave it at a shop. My mother knows the repairman. It's an old man. He came by the house to pick up the TV. He repaired my original TV like 2.5 years ago when the black back screen went out. But when it went out again and he came to take the TV to re-repair it, he just never came back with it. I didn't go to a repair shop. How much for a new TV? 32-inch TV is, what is this? 35,000. What is that? JMD 35,000 for, what is 35,000 Jamaican dollars? 240 bucks. Or you not gonna fix it? No, I'm not gonna fix it. I learned my lesson from the repair guy. First of all, I gave that mother for $7,000. It was like $50 for him to put the damn backlight in, and he ran off with my damn TV and my money. So it's like, I learned my lesson. I was like, next time the TV break, I just buy a new one. That's it. Doing the last one now?
I did the last one already.
Oh.
Put 4 already.
No, I know that. But I'm saying, but you didn't do the one that you said you was going to do in the house. No, you don't have to put it up. You can just do it now and then put it up tomorrow. Start off the day with an extra.
Across the table, we see a woman and a man who are questioning him. Hutch Mansell seems like an ordinary man living his ordinary life. The man has 2 kids from his wife Becca, who is a successful woman. Hutch has an unremarkable job at his father-in-law Eddie's metal fabrication company. The man seems to be getting sick of his daily boring routine. His son Blake seems to have no respect for him, as he does not even greet his father when he gets home from work. Things do not seem to be great between the husband and wife either, as we see a pillow placed between them, separating the two on the bed. A neighborhood dog barks and Hutch goes out to make sure everything is all right. As he goes downstairs, he hears a noise as intruders break into his house. Hutch tries to make a phone call, but a female intruder gets there and demands money, pointing a gun at Hutch. He notices a tattoo on the female intruder's wrist. Just as they demand his wedding ring, his son Blake gets downstairs and tackles the man. Intruder approaches them with a gun, and Hutch appears to get ready to swing at her with a golf club, but he stops himself and tells Blake to let the intruder go. He does, and the intruder punches him in the face before they flee. The attack on Blake results in him getting a black eye. Blake is pissed off at his father, causing him to drift even further away. The police arrive there. Hutch is pissed off at himself for not taking care of the intruder. His whole family is disappointed in him as they go to bed again. Hutch sleeps downstairs on the couch, and his daughter Sammy joins him. She is the only person in the family who gets along with him. She tells them that they need a cat. The next day, Blake asks Hutch if he could interview him for a project on veterans. Hutch says that he is nothing more than an auditor. Becca tells Blake to ask his uncle, who was a real soldier. The family leaves the house to start their day, and Sammy hugs him on their way out. The neighbor tells Hutch that if it were him, he would have beaten the intruders. He then goes on to brag about his new car. The tedium of Hutch's week begins. Upon reaching the factory, he is questioned by his brother-in-law Charlie for not tackling the intruders. Charlie gives him a gun and asks him to keep his sister safe. Hutch takes the gun and keeps it in a box at the back of the refrigerator. We then see Eddie coming to Hutch to discuss his fair offer to buy the business from him. He tells Hutch that after a lifetime of hard work, he would like a great offer. Hutch tells him that he just wants something that is his. Hutch then locks his office and contacts his brother Harry, who is supposedly dead. They talk on the radio. He tells him that he held back from attacking the intruders as they were young, scared, and desperate. He further adds that their gun was not even loaded. Harry tells him that he did the right thing and asks him not to do anything stupid. Hutch then goes to see his father, who asks him if he remembers the man he once used to be. When Hutch gets home, he sees his family gathered around the dinner table. Blake barely greets him, and Becca asks after his day. Sammy, on the other hand, appears to have lost her kitty cat bracelet, which was in the bowl with the money that the intruders stole. Hutch then goes to see his father yet again. His father tells him that he better do this thing he has to do very well. He borrows his father's old FBI badge and gun to track down the burglars. Hutch goes to the tattoo parlors, shows them his badge, and one of them even makes fun of him, telling him that the badge is 20 years old. They ask Hutch who he really is. He tells them he's just a man looking for someone and pulls out his billfold. He dares them to take the cash from him. The people then see the tattoo on the wrist. This is when they change their attitude towards him. A man asks how they can help him. Hutch points at a tattoo in a picture, and they give him the address of the person who has the same tattoo. Hutch then goes to the address and enters the apartment with his gun pointed at the girl's boyfriend. He asks them to return his watch and the kitty cat bracelet. The couple's sick baby wakes up because of their shouting, and Hutch gets out of there. Outside, he punches a wall repeatedly. He is simultaneously angry and sad. He gets on the bus. A vehicle then approaches the bus and stops him. 5 thugs approach the closed door of the bus. A young girl on the bus is sitting alone, and the female bus driver looks scared as she opens the door. The thugs enter the bus and start messing with the passengers, trying to intimidate them. Hutch is sitting quietly on the last of the bus. As the thugs surround the young girl, Hutch gets up and walks through them. He asks the driver to get off the bus, then closes the door and returns to face the thugs. Hutch removes the bullets from his gun as the boys look on. He threatens them, and they laugh. Hutch, who is already frustrated and furious, gets even angrier and unleashes his wrath on the thugs, beating the hell out of them. He himself gets injured too, but continues to fight. He almost beats them to death. He then gets out and apologizes to the driver for the mess he created. When he gets home, he sees his wife sitting in the darkness. She asks him where he's been, and he tells her it was just like old times tonight. As his wife gently cleans his wounds, he tells her that she seems far away and there is no intimacy left in their marriage. He asks her if she remembers who they used to be. Becca then removes the pillow that separates them on the bed and starts touching him gently. In the next scene, we see a passenger verbally abusing his driver for passing the destination. Yulian Kuznetsov, a mob enforcer, gets out of the car and walks into a club. He gets on stage where he sings and dances, then gets off the stage and walks toward a group of men. He asks them if they are satisfied with the security for Obshak. They tell him that they are satisfied. Yulian then introduces them to Pavel, his right hand. The spokesman for the group says to Yulian that his dancing and singing do not really inspire confidence in them as a guardian of their money. It does not sit well with Yulian, and he responds by killing one of the stakeholders, asking if their confidence is restored. Yulian receives a phone call, and in the next scene, we see him standing at his brother's bedside. The boy's brain has been severely damaged. Yulian assumes that the attack must be related to Obshak. Another man in the room who is badly injured shows Yulian a Metro card he had picked up during the fight on the bus. The next day, Hutch seems better. He seems happy as he prepares for his day. He informs his son that he is proud of him for tackling the intruders. Hutch then receives a phone call from his brother who tells him to see a man known as the Barber. He tells him that one of the thugs he beat is the younger brother of Yulian, a very wealthy Russian crime lord. The Barber tells Hutch all he needs to know and adds that Yulian yet does not know who Hutch is. Despite despising his younger brother, he is still going to avenge him. He tells him that the Shack is an operation dealing with millions of dollars on the move. Julian is the current caretaker and seems to be tired of this huge responsibility. Julian is informed that Hutch's father lives in a nursing home, and they keep trying to track his location. Julian's security blackmails a man in the Pentagon into checking the archives for information on Hutch. Hutch is listed as nobody. Hutch, on the other hand, looks happy as he prepares a meal for his family and suggests they all go to Italy. He then sees a car approaching and asks everyone in the family to go to the basement at once. Julian has sent his dogs, led by his right hand Pavel, to attack Hutch. Hutch launches an attack on the attackers and kills most of them. Pavel eventually puts him down using a taser on him. They put Hutch into a car. Hutch dislocates his wrists to remove the handcuff. He finds a fire extinguisher and uses it to blind his abductors. The car crashes, and before Pavel dies, Hutch tells him who he actually is. He then runs home to open the basement door for his family. As Hutch runs back home, he calls David and warns him to watch himself. He then frees his family from the panic room, covering Sammy's eyes so he won't see the slew of dead bodies in the house. Hutch then sends Becca and the kids away to somewhere safe, and she asks him to make sure he returns to them. Becca drives away with the children to a safe place. Hutch places all the dead and injured men on his couch and starts speaking. He tells that he is a former auditor, an assassin employed by intelligence agencies to kill the people who consider themselves untouchable. He did this work professionally until he let a man he was supposed to kill go free. A year later, Hutch found that the man he had spared had built a new life and family for himself and was very happy. This is when Hutch decided to retire against the wishes of his superiors. Ever since he retired, he's done everything to stay away from the shadows of his old life. He then sees a kitty cat bracelet lying next to a pool of blood under the radio. Before he leaves, he tells the dead man that the bone burns to ashes at 1500 degrees without leaving a trace. Hutch acknowledges that deep down he knew his life was just a facade that lasted longer than he expected. He has to burn down all the traces of the killing he just did, so he sets his house on fire and picks up a photograph of his family as he walks out of the house. Remember his jackass neighbor, the one who once bragged about his new car to Hutch? Well, Hutch steals that very car and drives away. We then see a car with two assassins arrive at the nursing home. They go directly to Hutch's father's room and approach him as he pretends to be asleep. Just as they approach him, he kills both the assassins. In the next scene, we see Hutch pouring a bag full of gold bars onto Eddie's desk and telling him that he is buying the company. Julian, on the other hand, watches the whole footage on the news and gets to know that Pavel has been killed by Hutch. Hutch, on the other hand, closes the factory temporarily. We see that his desk is covered with weapons and ammunition. Harry contacts him on the radio, and Hutch tells him that he has devised a plan. He drives to where the mob are counting the Shack money. He makes quite an entrance as he opens fire the moment he enters the building. He removes a Van Gogh painting before he sets fire to Julian's priceless artwork and piles of money. After delivering a fatal blow, Hutch now drives to meet Julian at the club. Julian is surrounded by his henchmen, but Hutch has a plan. It turns out that he has an explosive device that was concealed under his napkin. Hutch has the detonator in his hand, so even if they try to get close to him, boom! Hutch then sits across the table as he talks to Julian. He tells him that he has burned everything owned by Julian to ashes. Julian goes berserk at this. Hutch then gives Julian a choice. He tells him that he can either choose to come after him, or better, he can choose to take what little remains and flee. After telling this to Julian, Hutch leaves the club. Julian is now angry and calls every man on his payroll. They all go after Hutch, who is in the factory. David and Harry are also down there to help Hutch deal with the gangsters. They use a variety of advanced weapons and their experience to lay trap for the gangsters. They kill all the gunmen except Julian, who shoots Harry. Hutch charges him with a claymore mine attached to a pane of bulletproof glass and detonates it, killing Julian. Hutch shows his gratification to Harry and David, who leave as the police cars approach. Hutch leaves Becca a loving message. Then a kitten appears. He leaves carrying a painting with a kitten wrapped in his jacket. He is arrested by the police. We are back to the scene where the movie started. Hutch quickly gets released with no charges filed against him. 3 months later, while buying a new house with Becca, Hutch receives a phone call suggesting that his services are still required. In a mid-credit scene, Harry and David are shown driving to an undisclosed location in an RV filled with guns. This is where the movie ends. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe.
So there'll be a Nobody 2. He just disappeared. He's not in the shop now. Pay him a little visit like the mafias did. Go walk with him to the lake. I'm not doing none of that stupidness for no friggin' $7,000 TV. Are you kidding me? Okay, guys, I got about 30 more minutes I'm gonna spend with you guys before I move the stream over to Empress Now's channel. We should play a little bit of Call of Duty and a little bit of what's that name of that game? Apex. Yeah, and then we'll be hitting the sack a little bit early. I'm over here watching some movies explained. Wow, young man uses time travel to pick up women. What a waste of time. Pay to win disease. What? Education pre-summit. Central. Nope. 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 Movies recap. Let's see this.
Welcome back to Movie Recaps. Today I will show you a crime, thriller film from 2005, titled Revolver. Spoilers ahead.
Huh? Why? You doing something? Timing sucks. Know what? Timing sucks. I'll tell you that much. What did you say? This is good. You know when you're ready. Or when you're done with that. Oh man. Well, that answers that now, doesn't it?
Watch out and take care. After 7 years of confinement, Cockney gambler Jake Green is finally freed from prison. 2 years after his release, he and his brother Billy go to one of the most important casinos in the area with the intention of getting back the money they are owed by the owner, crime boss Dorothy Macha. Ignoring his bodyguard Paul's advice, he allows Jake to join his...
No, save it for tomorrow. Look at the last numbers of the last one you just posted. It's going to be pointless. Just save it for the morning.
private gang. On the way up, Jake hesitates to take the elevator because of his claustrophobia, but the other bodyguards remind him they must climb 20 floors, so he gives in and takes the elevator while fighting a panic attack. Jake's first bet is on a chip toss against another player at the table, which he loses. But this is on purpose. He's manipulating Matcha into a sense of false security, so when he makes the same bet with him, he wins this time. Billy and Jake hurry to leave the casino with their bags full of cash, and on their way out, they're stopped by Zach, who tells them they're in danger and he can help them before giving Jake his car. This time, Jake decides to take the stairs, but before he can even go down one step, he passes out and falls down as the card is revealed to say take the elevator. While Jake is rushed to the hospital, Matcha expresses his worries to Paul. Jake must want bigger revenge after 7 years in jail, especially after the incident with his sister-in-law, so Matcha orders Paul to hire the best hitman in the business to get rid of him. At the hospital, Jake is told no cause for the blackout could be found at a first glance, so he should go home and rest while waiting for the blood test results. Billy goes to his own house while Jake takes the bodyguards for protection, but all of them are shot as soon as they arrive. The only reason why he manages to dodge is that he finds a card on the floor that says pick this up, so he bends over to do exactly so. He tries to escape in his car, but the driver is shot too. Luckily for him, Zach arrives just in time to save him and take him away. The hitman, Sorter, can't understand how he missed, since he never misses, and theorizes someone must have tipped Jake off. What he tells Matcha when he scolds him, however, is that he missed because he had a bad feeling. Meanwhile, Zach takes Jake to meet his partner, Avi, who has somehow put his hands on Jake's medical file. The test results are in. Jake has a rare blood disease that will cause his death within 3 days. The men offer Jake their protection in exchange for 2 conditions, which are not negotiable. He must give them all their money, and do anything they ask for, including answering any questions. They give him 3 hours to decide, but Jasky leaves without saying a word because he's convinced they're trying to trick him. The results he gets at the hospital are the same ones, but Jaskier once again thinks the lab must have been paid by Zach and Avi, so he gets a second opinion from his private doctor, who also gives him the same prognosis. After threatening him with his gun to make sure he isn't also being paid, Jake admits he has no choice and, after taking money from the bank, goes back to accept the men's deal. As they go out for a ride, Avi explains they're loan sharks, and it'll be Jake's money that they'll be loaning. After visiting their first client to drop the money, Avi demands Jake to tell him all about his history with Matcha. Matcha used to have 3 very stupid men working for him called the Three Eddies. They lost their card man before a big game and knew Jake was a good player, so they called him to replace him. Jake wanted to refuse, but they threatened Billy's family, so he had to accept to protect them. During the game, however, the other men on the table began insulting Jake and his mother. Jake wouldn't accept that, so he started a gunfight. The power went off, the money disappeared, and then
When you were here, when you started the game, or like was like this? Yes.
the next thing he knew, someone dropped his name and Jake was being questioned by the police. To keep him from talking, they threatened his niece and accidentally killed his sister-in-law when she tried to protect her daughter. Jake didn't tell the cops that Matcha organized the games and was sent to jail for 7 years. During that time, the Eddies upset Matcha in some way, which resulted in him using them as concrete. After visiting a bunch of clients, Zach sends Jake to stay at a motel. Meanwhile, Matcha and Paul visit crime kingpin Sam Gold, considered the ultimate figure all other crime bosses want to be like. However, Gold never receives visitors, so instead they meet with his advisor, Lily Walker, who accepts to broker a powder deal with Matcha. She also reminds him that Gold doesn't like publicity or give second chances. Sometime later, Jake gives Zach and Avi more money before he's asked about his time in jail while playing chess with Avi. Jake had been given 2 options, 14 years of normal time or 7 years of solitary, so he chose solitary. His cell was between 2 men's, a chess master and a con man, that had been there for a long time, and while they never talked to each other, they knew everything about each other. During the first 5 years of Jake's sentence, the 3 of them would communicate by sending messages written on the library books, and that was how Jake learned their formula to win any game in the world. The 2 men were planning a prison break and promised to take Jake with them, but when they finally left, they disappeared without a word and left Jake behind. When he was released 2 years later, he found out those 2 men had taken all his money and only left behind a note that said you can only get smarter by playing a smarter opponent, so Jaker started using the formula to make himself rich at various casinos. As the days pass, Jake continues working by visiting various clients and giving away his own money. He's also supposed to threaten them if they don't pay, but he can't bring himself to hurt innocent, desperate people. Meanwhile, Avi and Zach are chaining the side of a wall to a truck, so when they pull, they break said wall and steal the safe on the other side. This safe has the powder Matcha had promised Lily, so when he finds out he's been robbed, he sends Paul to solve this no matter what it takes. Paul goes to see their rival, Triad Kingpin Lord John, who accepts to provide them with the powder on such short notice but only for an overinflated price. Jake, Zach, Avi, and their team go to the hotel where the exchange will happen. They sneak into a room next to the thugs to make a hole in the wall and inject sleeping gas, putting both Matcha's and John's men to sleep. Then they steal the money and the powder, framing it to make it look it was Matcha that robbed John and vice versa. Sometime later, Jake gets a call from Billy, who tells him he's been asking around and has found out that Zach and Avi are so dangerous that not even gold would touch them, so Jake should get out of there. Jake doesn't listen and goes back to work, where he's being expected to shoot a scared client. He refuses and tries to shoot Avi instead, but he realizes the gun is empty right before Avi knocks him out. Jake wakes up hours later in the motel and gets a call from Avi saying he survived his third day so he should get a checkup. After being visited by his niece and Billy, who leaves him a gun just in case, Jake goes to see his doctor, who confirms the diagnosis had been wrong and Jake is fine. He tries to call Avi and demand answers, but Avi only says he'll have to wait. Meanwhile, Paul has been gathering information, and Jake's name has come up as involved in all the problems his men have been going through, so Matcha orders him to kill him. When Jake returns to the motel, Avi and Zach are waiting for him and warn him that Matcha's thugs are waiting inside the room. Jake runs away and the men go after him, but he manages to lose them, especially when one of the thugs slips and shoots himself by accident. The other criminals find the body and think Jake did it. Jake goes to see Avi and Zach at their office, where they confess they've always known Jake didn't tell them the whole truth about his old deal with the Eddies. Those three clowns had been waiting for Jake when he got out of prison to kill him, since what he did caused them to get fired by Matcha. To save his life, he offered the Eddies a deal. Every month, he would give them 3% of any money they would lend them. The first time, only one Eddie agreed to it. But when they saw he kept his deal, they all wanted to be in, this time for a 4%. In truth, Jake was paying each Eddie with another Eddie's money, so he wasn't losing anything. It came to a point where they didn't have any more money to lend, so they borrowed from Matcha, who quickly became interested in the Eddie's mysterious moneymaker man. After gambling with the formula and making himself rich, Jake chose that moment to take a vacation with his brother and niece, and that was when Matcha killed the Eddies for not paying him back. Speaking of Matcha, he's having dinner at a fancy restaurant when he's visited by his henchmen, that tell him Jake escaped. Sorter recognizes John's lover pretending to be a waitress, so he shoots her before leaving the restaurant to go after her driver. However, his shooting is still off and he only got to hurt her, not kill her, so before dying, the woman manages to shoot Matcha's finger off in the middle of the commotion. Then, Sorter is sent to Lord John's hideout to kill him and his men. Back to Jake, he's still chatting to Zach and Avi while they play golf on a roof. They explain to him that nobody ever gets to see gold because he doesn't actually exist. He's just a representation of ego and a personification of greed. He only has power over those who invest in him. So what Jake needs to do is change the rules of what he allows to control him. Afterward, Jake...
The two guys that's playing Jake were the two guys in the solitary confinement prison with him when they escaped.
takes the rest of his money from the bank and donates it all before sneaking into Matcha's bedroom. While fighting with the voices in his head that represent his ego, Jake apologizes to Matcha for tricking him out of his money, accepts him as the superior crime lord, and tells him he's made a donation in his name before leaving. In order to confront his fears, Jake takes the elevator, which gets stuck on the 13th floor. While fighting off a panic attack, he has a conversation in his mind in which he rejects his ego, finally stepping out of the game as a free man. Once the elevator being's working again, Jake reaches the ground floor and finds Matcha waiting for him with a gun, driven crazy by his own ego. However, Jake is at peace with himself and simply walks past him, which drives Matcha mad because he can't understand how someone won't fear him. He begins crying as he understands how thoroughly humiliated he's been. The next morning, Paul brings Matcha all the local newspapers for him to see his name plastered all over them. Jake hadn't been lying when he said he made a donation in Matcha's name, and now everyone thinks the casino owner cares about the community. Matcha is happy to take the credit, but his happiness is short-lived. Paul also informs him that Jake has the powder and he's been playing them all along. Paul, Sorter, and the rest of Matcha's henchmen go visit Billy, who manages to hide his daughter in the cupboard when he realizes one of his bodyguards has betrayed him. Once he's found, the men begin hurting him while interrogating him, not believing when he says he doesn't know where Jake and the powder are. Paul's methods are quickly escalating and Sorter starts feeling uncomfortable, especially when they make the girl come out of the cupboard after they hear her sob. Refusing to hurt a child, Sorter rejects his ego and begins killing his fellow henchmen methodically and effectively, but he makes a mistake at the end and gets killed too. Meanwhile, Matcha is visited by Lily. She brings him a wreath sent by Gold, who isn't happy with seeing Matcha's name all over the newspaper since he doesn't like publicity. Lily also informs him that Matcha's time is over and he won't have a second chance, which sends him into another panicking frenzy. Avi and Zach take Jake and the powder to Matcha's casino, where Avi finally beats Jake at a game of chess while confessing the last few details of the story. He and Zack had been the men in the cells next to Jake's,
I told
and they always
you.
wanted to take him away with them.
I told you they were the guys in the cell. Oh, man.
But he hadn't been ready to accept the truth, implying they have been nothing but merely figments of Jake's imagination. Unfortunately, he doesn't have time to come to terms with this because at that moment, the casino's bodyguards come to take him to see Matcha, who has the girl with him. After dropping the bags of powder on the floor, Jake tells his niece everything will be fine, which drives Matcha mad because Jake is still showing no fear even when he's pointing his gun at the child. Humiliation causes the ego voices in Matcha's mind to reach the conclusion that Jake can't hurt a dead man, so he puts the gun against his head and shoots. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.
Oh, that's a crazy movie. Now Empress is coming on shortly, but it won't be long, I tell you that much. It won't be long. I'm gonna end this stream right now. Hold on, let me see how much time. 2:14. Let's watch one more movie review. One more movie review. Then we'll slide over to Empress now for about an hour stream. Okay. All right, let's see. Handbag. Let's see. I always wanted to know what that means.
Welcome back to Fox Recaps. Today, I'm going to explain the movie The Northman, released in the year 2022. The opening scene begins with Prince Amleth, who notices his father's ship and rushes to his mother's chamber to inform her of the king's arrival. However, Queen Gundren chastises him for entering her chamber without an invitation. When King Orvondel Warraven arrives at the castle, his wife and son greet him. Gundren inquires about the king's brother, Fjolnir, to which Arvondil responds that he will join them soon. Orvondil then gives Amleth a necklace that he looted from the battleground he conquered. Just then, Fjolnir arrives and he's welcomed into the castle. As he is a short-tempered man, he becomes enraged when the royal jester, Hymir, cracks a joke, but the king calms him down. Later that night, Orvondil shows his wife his wounds. He also considers preparing Amleth to take the throne, but Gundren believes he's still too young for it. She attempts to console her husband by seducing him, but he declines. Arvondil then takes his son to a temple and dips a golden band in blood. They both climb down and begin crawling like animals. Soon, Hymir starts the ritual by making both father and son eat from the bowls. Here, Arvondil reveals that he too was once very weak, but one day his father performed the same ritual on him, and now he is strong and mighty. This inspires Amleth, and he slowly starts gaining strength. The next morning, as they return home, Arvondil is suddenly shot by arrows. He orders his son to flee before the enemy approaches them. As Arvondil falls to his knees, the leader of the enemy group reveals his face, who is none other than Fjolnir. Despite this, Arvondil has no fear of death, and he mentions that stealing the throne does not make him a king. Fjolnir then swings his sword and chops off his head. He also commands his men to bring Amleth's head, but the boy hides beneath a fallen tree. A few moments later, he comes out, but is suddenly attacked by one of Fjolnir's men. Fortunately, he manages to grab his dagger and slash the man's nose before fleeing. Following this, Amleth returns to his village, where he finds Fjolnir's men murdering the villagers. He also spots Fjolnir taking his mother away. Although devastated, there's not much the little boy can do, so he decides to flee on a boat. Meanwhile, the nose-sliced man lies to Fjolnir that the prince died after being swept away by the waves. A few years later, we see Amleth as a strong grown man among the Vikings on the land of Rus. One day, the Vikings along with Amleth invade a village and begin slaughtering everyone. After the battle, the elder Viking praises Amleth for his bravery and strength. Later, Amleth walks to a burned-out house and encounters a seeress, who knows everything about his past. She gives him his final teardrop and reminds him for whom he shed it. She also instructs him to sail to the northern island and kill Fjolnir. Amleth inquires as to why she predicts his fate, to which she responds that the end of his journey will mark the beginning of the Maiden King's path. The next morning, Amleth learns that Fjolnir has fled to Iceland after losing his brother's kingdom. He then notices a bird staring at him and perceives it as a sign from his father. Later, while his men are selling the villagers as slaves, he gets to know that a batch of slaves are being sent to his uncle Fjolnir. Hearing this, Amleth strikes an idea. He quickly steals a cloth from a dead body and swims to the boat, which is carrying the villagers to Iceland. In the boat, he meets a woman named Olga, who recognizes him as a Northman. She then suggests that he conceal his cunning in order to be a sheep, but he reveals his plan to murder the shepherd. In the middle of the sea, the boat encounters a massive storm, but Amleth and Olga help each other to survive it. The next day, they finally reach the shore, where they're picked up by Fjolnir's men. On their way, Amleth tells Olga everything about himself and his plan. Elsewhere at Fjolnir's farm, his son, Gunnar, complains about having to do the servant's work. However, Fjolnir responds that they should be prepared for anything. Meanwhile, Fjolnir's elder son, Thorir, is enraged after losing in the training. After a while, Amleth and the other villagers form a line in front of Fjolnir. When Amleth learns that they're about to be sold, he uses his strength to pique their interest, and Fjolnir decides to keep him. Fjolnir is also smitten by Olga's beauty, and hence he decides to keep her as well. The next morning, Amleth is made to do extreme hard work, but he does it efficiently because of his brute strength. A while later, he sneaks inside the house and gets taken aback to see his mother brushing Fjolnir's hair. Later, Olga asks if he has found what he lost. She also inquires whether he will come looking for her if she becomes lost or taken away. Just then, Fjolnir's men arrive and take her to stay close to Fjolnir. The same night, Almeth visits a cave and meets a warlock who shows him Hymir's head. Turns out that Hymir was murdered and beheaded by Fjolnir. Soon, the warlock starts performing a ritual which miraculously allows Almeth to hear Hymir's voice. Hymir reveals about the most powerful sword of the dead, Draugr. He also reveals that the sword can perform miracles, and whosoever can retrieve it can defeat any opponent. After Hymir stops speaking, the warlock explains that Draugr can only be unsheathed at night or at the gates of hell. He also orders Amleth to retrieve Draugr from the current owner, the Mound Dweller. In the next scene, Almeth climbs a hill and digs his way inside. Within it, he discovers the skeleton of Mound Dweller, who is holding Draugr. When he attempts to take the sword, the dead Mound Dweller suddenly awakens and starts attacking him. During the fight, Dweller avoids the light, but Amleth manages to lure him in, causing him to freeze. As a result, Amleth chops off his head and retrieves Draugr. When he returns to the village, he overhears Fjolnir's plan to attack the neighboring farm. He also observes Fjolnir entering a barn to awaken Olga and take advantage of her. However, Olga smears her blood on his face, prompting him to punish her. The next morning, Olga informs Amleth that they will be taken to the chieftain's feast. In turn, he reveals that he has found the most powerful sword in the world, but they must wait for the right moment, and until then, he will haunt the farm like a hungry corpse. He also claims that his vengeance will
Kyle
please...
Zero More has unlocked the Captain Commander Valkyrie secret donation of $40. Big day but got my labor pay. Hope you have sweet day.
Hey Kyle, thank you for the donation, man. $40 donation. That puts us at 54. We're at half the wait, what? How did that happen? Oh wow. Now during the entire time that you was playing you was doing your TikTok, you was actually playing the Tetris game without even knowing it. But yeah, thank you, Kyle Moore. I appreciate the $40 donation. Thank you very much. We're actually about to... How much more time is left on this? 7 more minutes. Back. You know what's crazy? A streamer on Twitch got banned for showing a girl twerking. Crazy. Which streamer was that? Wait. So a streamer was showing another person twerking that had nothing to do with the stream, and that person got banned for it. Is that what you're saying, that boy? But yeah, like I said, thank you, Carl. The donations, at least it looks like I'm gonna have to take about $240 to go buy a brand new TV. You know what's crazy? Stated was literally coming down to Jamaica at the end of July with a monitor to give us, and then the damn TV break. I hate stupid shit like this. I really do. I really, really do. Like, why the TV couldn't just hold out until the end of the month? Damn, but just so... Anyway, it don't make a difference. I ain't on Twitch, and the Valkyrie's done left Twitch. They don't give a shit. So. Twitch really sucks anyway.
He's his mother, and that he will also save his half-brother, Gunnar. Following this, Amleth joins the servants' team, who are playing a game against the servants of another farm, while Fjolnir and the chief's family watches on. Amleth, who is new to the game, is defeated for several rounds, causing Gunnar to become enraged. In the final round, each team has one member left. Both of them fight for the ball, but just then, Gunnar enters the field to retrieve it. Unfortunately, he's knocked down and severely injured by the opponent. When the man tries to kill Gunnar, Amleth takes him down brutally and saves his brother. On the same night, Thorir promotes Amleth to servant leader for saving Gunnar and winning the game. Thorir also allows him to select a woman as his reward. Later, Amleth and Olga spend some private time together while the servants celebrate their victory. One morning, Thorir becomes enraged when he discovers the dead bodies of his friends over the barn. He starts beating up the servants until his father intervenes and calms him down. Soon after, the priestess appears and mentions that the wounds are caused by a hungry blade. She believes it is God's work, so she decides to prepare a sacrifice. Hearing this, Amleth informs Olga that he'll have to postpone their plan for the time being, or else more servants will be sacrificed. Later that night, the priestess prepares a servant girl for sacrifice, but at the same time, they hear some howling sounds. Just then, Fjolnir's dog starts becoming aggressive, and he attacks Fjolnir. Left with no choice, he has to put his own dog down. Turns out that it was Amleth who devised the whole plan. When the guards head out to inspect the sound, Amleth cleverly sneaks inside and saves the servant girl. Later, Fjolnir discovers the priestess and her assistant's dead bodies. Seeing this, Fjolnir doubts whether it was God's work. The next day, the servants are given weapons to guard the farm. As night falls, Olga mixes a drug into the food and serves it to the men, causing them to hallucinate and harm themselves. Meanwhile, Amleth infiltrates Fjolnir's home, and when Gundren arrives, he reveals his true identity, shocking her. He then promises to kill his father's assassin and free her. Surprisingly, Gudrun reveals that she never mourned Arvandil's death, and that she loved Fjolnir because he treated her better than Orvandil did. She also reveals that she was the one who requested Fjolnir to kill Orvandil, and also her son. After hearing all this, Amleth becomes devastated and wishes to kill her. However, Gudrun starts manipulating his love for her. She then asks him to kill Fjolnir and become her new king. She also kisses him and tries to get his sword, but Amleth catches wind of this and quickly swats her away. Enraged, Amleth storms out, but when he sees Thorir sleeping outside, he stabs him to death. Following this, he meets Olga and tells her everything. He also advises Olga to be ready to flee when the time comes. The next morning, Fjolnir sobs as he discovers Thorir's heart has been taken away. As expected, Gudrun reveals the killer's identity and mentions that Amleth is responsible for all the strange occurrences happening as of late. Enraged, Fjolnir gathers all the servants and orders them to confess about Amleth's whereabouts. When they refuse to do so, he kills them mercilessly. Soon, he also comes across Olga, and as he's about to kill her, Amleth arrives there and offers Fjolnir his son's heart in exchange for her life. Following this, an intense fight ensues between Amleth and Fjolnir's men. Though Amleth takes down several men, he is eventually overpowered and subdued. Fortunately, Olga manages to escape during the chaos. A few moments later, Amleth is taken to Fjolnir, who retrieves his son's heart. However, Amleth raises the possibility that it's not his son's heart. As a result, he is tied up and brutally beaten in order to reveal the location of Thorir's heart. However, Amleth stands strong and bears the pain without uttering a word. When he's left alone, he's miraculously freed by a flock of ravens. Elsewhere, Thorir's funeral is being held, where Fjolnir promises to avenge his son's death. However, when he returns to the room, he's shocked to find that Amleth has escaped. The next day, we see Amleth with Olga in a hot spring. They express their feelings for one another and wonder if fate has brought them together. Amleth then makes the decision to flee to Orkney, where he has relatives, and live a peaceful life. They then board a boat and flee to the island. On their way, Amleth notices Olga's wound, which triggers a vision in which Olga is pregnant with his twins. Olga simply smiles and reveals that she only wanted to tell him once they were safe. However, Amleth realizes that his children will never be safe until Fjolnir is dead. Hence, he makes up his mind to return to the island and kill his uncle. Following this, he hands the boatman his father's ring and orders him to take Olga safely. Olga begs him to stop, but Omelette jumps off the boat and heads towards his mission. Later in the evening, Omelette arrives at the farm and begins slaughtering Fjolnir's men one after another. He eventually runs into Gudrun, who attacks him until he stabs her in the heart. When Gunnar notices this, he jumps and begins stabbing Omelette in the shoulder, but Omelette swings and accidentally kills him. Following this, Fjolnir appears on the doorway. He carries his deceased wife and son's body and invites Omelette to meet him at the gates of hell. The next day, Omelette travels to the gates of hell and discovers the bodies of Gudrun and Gunnar. Despite their sins, he still appears to love his mother and brother. He then ascends to the volcano, where he's ambushed by Fjolnir. Soon, the duo engages in a brutal tussle amidst the fiery ashes of the volcano. They go back and forth until Omelette decapitates his uncle's head, while he gets stabbed through the chest. As Omelette collapses to the ground, he sees Olga and their twins, who confirm to him that they are safe. The movie ends as a Valkyrie appears from the sky and leads Omelette to the gates of Valhalla. That was all from the video. I hope you liked it. Subscribe for more content like this, and hit the like button to help us out.
What the type of movie am I even listening to? And yes, I saw a girl showing her bare front on stream, and Twitch thought it was fine. Nah, they banned her. I know which girl you're talking about. They banned her. They banned that girl. Twitch be tripping. Alright guys, I don't know if you got I don't know if you guys know about Empress Now's channel. It is 11 o'clock now. I'm going to be heading over there in about 15 minutes. We're going to start a stream. I'll be in the chat. You guys can chill with her just for a little bit. She'll be on a stream just to try to, you know, meet her quota for the night, and also make sure that we fulfill our schedule streams that she's supposed to do. Today we really was late today because we had to get up early in the morning, 9 o'clock, head over to the live video game TV and do a couple of shoots. Then get back in time. She had to take care of little brothers and the whole 9 yards, cook some food, and then I was preparing to do, we were supposed to do the 9th Commandment podcast tonight. Unfortunately, we couldn't do that because the actual host, because I'm the co-host, but the actual host ran into a little issue, so we had to then postpone the show until Saturday. So on the Sabbath, we're going to do 2 episodes of the 9th Commandment. One from 3 to 5, and then one from 6 to 8. So there'll be 2, so there'll be a little break in between and whatnot on Saturday. Tomorrow, this is what we hope to do. Now we'll stream. We're going to get to sleep by 1. Get up in the morning around 8. Shower, get ready by 9. Head over to the lab, get there by 10. She does her shoot for the day. I think she's got to do an experiment. Get back to the house by 2. Then I'm going to come on the stream around 3, 4 o'clock. Stream until, you know, for like 3 hours or so. And then I'm going to end my stream. And then now we'll be back for Valkyrie Thursday. It's going to have to be a phone game until I get into the damn TV. That's what's probably going to have to be. So, yeah. But we'll be on for a bit. So we'll be back to our normal stuff. I'm legitimately upset that the damn TV is out. So stupid. While we're outside coming back from the live video game TV, I'm going to try to go look and see if there's an actual TV repair store rather than giving it to some idiot. But I want to thank everybody who came in and joined the stream. We put this in the room. How many people left in there before we left? There's 7 heads in here. Wait, what are you watching? Wait, thank God I wasn't listening to those spoilers. It's the Northman, I think that's the name of the show. I'm not too sure. But anybody who wants to support, you guys will get this again when we go on Empress Now's channel. Anyone who wants to help support, we got our goal to make. Yesterday we legitimately actually made $80, not $60. because after the stream, Danny donated $20, but it came in via e-check, so that money doesn't come until like later on. But we made $80 yesterday, which was a Tuesday, and we made $90 on Monday. So we're nearing our goals per day. We're supposed to be doing 100 a day, but hey, I'll take that 90 and then 80 any day of the week. And right now we're at 54 right now, so hopefully Empress now can either bring in another 50 or get us to 90 or so we can have a decent day today. We have a big donation come in from the Black Dragon, which is he's going to be sponsoring the Just Dance competition for Anime Confest. So on Empress Now stream, Black Dragon will be in. I think he's going to be playing Apex with her, so we'll see how that works. In fact, is Neko even on playing Apex Legends? Because I guess they can play together and whatnot. This will give me a oh wow, Neko is on playing Apex Legends. So yeah, now I'll probably jump on with her and they'll be playing together, and you guys can watch the games together, whatever the case may be. But thank you guys for joining. Oh, let me do this one real quick. We'll be ending in like 3 minutes. Oh, it's in the chat. I put the link in the chat. Anybody wants to drop any donations to help support with a couple of bucks, please do. I will see you guys in Empress Now's chat in about 15 minutes. So I'll see y'all in a bit. Later.